Hi. Oh, I can't hear you. Mm-mm. Hey. Oh gosh, can't hear you either.
Can you hear me now?
Yes.
Perfect. How
Chris
are you?
was just on and I couldn't hear him either, and I think he closed it to try to start it back up again.
I'm gonna shut my window because it's fucking loud out there.
Can you see me? Because my little block thing went away.
Yes, I can see you.
Oh, cool. Perfect. Works.
Okay. This meeting seems like it should be pretty easy too. It's a lot less stuff than last time.
Yeah. Yeah, thank God. I still can't. These are ridiculous, I think.
Oh yeah, I mean it doesn't do anything for us.
No.
Like discussion boards and actual classes. It's just petty work.
It's an inconvenience.
Well, yeah, and the whole meeting thing, I don't. Well, and it's one thing if he gives us 7 days to meet, but he gives us Thursday through Sunday.
3. Yeah.
It's
4.
we all work. We all. I don't know. I think it's
Right.
And it's like, I mean, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday would be the best days to meet for me, just like at night after I get off work. But
Right.
whatever. I mean,
I almost think like if he just allowed us to like, even if we freaking had like a group text or something, like, and just did all this, like talked about all this stuff.
or even if like you went on your computer and recorded a video of you answering all these questions, I recorded my own video, and we just mash them all together,
Right.
put it on YouTube, and then we can watch that. Like it's just,
Right.
that way.
Well, that's why I said, and like I have no number saved. So whoever said that, like they couldn't hear me right now, I was like, well, we could just start and then watch it back, like watch back whatever you
I
missed.
agree with that because it's like, first of all, don't text a half hour before the meeting that you can't.
Right. I would have been understanding, but like I literally drove 6.5 hours. I just got out of my car. It's like getting unpacked right now
Yeah,
by my boyfriend. So
I agree. And
I was like, I made sure I was home at 6.
Yeah, I agree. Hello. I cannot hear you.
Oh, you can't?
I can't hear. I see him talking, but I can't hear him.
Oh no, what the hell? Can you hear me now?
Oh, okay, can you hear me now?
Yes.
Yeah.
Oh, all right.
Perfect.
All right, let me see how. I can see everyone. Oh, now I can see everyone. All right. So we're just waiting on Antonio, right? But he said he wasn't
Yeah, I think he
meeting
said.
it like later or something. All right. Everyone can hear everyone, right?
Yep.
Yeah.
Okay. Awesome. Well, I hope everyone had a good week.
Yeah.
You as well.
All right. Who wants to start? Whatever. Discuss the terms integration, transfer, and conceptual blending. What do they have in common?
I just want to go one by one.
Yeah, it's fine. Does everyone want to just pick one, like whatever they want to talk about?
Perfect.
Okay. I'll do transfer.
I can do integration.
All right, Chris, you got conceptual blending.
Okay.
I half-assed to remember this reading because I read it on Tuesday. But whatever I remember about transfer was pretty much that anything that you think of or you can apply from one situation, your brain and logic is able to take what they know about one situation and apply it to another one to make it into like a more complicated, I don't know, thought or doing, I guess.
Yeah.
So I'm reading this thing. I guess what they would have in what transfer would have in common with like integration, conceptual blending is because transfer requires like integration. And it also, I don't know what the heck I'm trying to, I have like a thought and I can't figure out how to say it. My transfer is not working right now. The concept of like conceptual blending utilizes transfer because it takes all those thoughts and blends them into the bigger picture, I suppose.
Have you guys started on the next writing assignment by chance? The one that's due like on Tuesday or Thursday or something. It's you have to write examples of all three of these. I was just doing it right before this. That's the only reason why I asked.
Oh,
but
you did not do it yet.
No.
So up until about 2 hours ago, I didn't know anything about any of those three. So I understand. But yeah, they well, I guess I don't mean to interrupt, but like what you were saying about the like the blending of everything. Like one example I listed in that paper was religion. I think is an excellent example of blending of all different beliefs and conceptual, the way you view concepts throughout, I don't know, mankind, I guess.
Yeah. Because like religion's so specific, but people have, so many different beliefs that can stem from like so many different religions. So that would be, an example of like conceptual blending, how they can apply different thoughts and different beliefs from one religion to another religion and make it into like their own quote unquote religion.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I mean, I think that goes very well with integration as well, because I think integration is taking like little bits of like mostly because like the reading was all about like transferring from an education standpoint like into the real world, kind of like use something you learned in school and applying it to not exactly what you got tested on, but what you're applying it to in a scenario in like the real life workplace. It's pretty much just a combination of like little qualities and things from the things you did learn and using all those different combinations to solve like one problem at hand.
Right.
Yeah. I mean, for the transfer one, the one I used was like in math when they would ask you to find like the perimeter of something or area, and then like in real life if you're like getting carpet for your family room.
Right.
You just need to like figure out like, oh wow, that is the exact same thing as I did way back in the day. But I don't know. I think they all kind of go. They're all pretty much the same thing, just a little bit tweak different meaning.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I agree. I found a pretty neat like article because I kind of did some extra research before I wrote this paper, just because I couldn't really find enough in the reading about these three. I mean, it was just so vague, and they all were kind of blended together. And but one of the neat things I found was on conceptual blending is metaphors and sayings are made up of two separate ideas that are kind of pulled together to create one thing. Like time is money. You have the idea of time as like this linear construct, and then you got money that's like something that everyone needs, a necessity. So together, time is money, kind of bringing the idea together.
Mm-hmm.
For sure.
We want to move on.
The other thing I thought of, like, for as far as like why they're important for, this must be Antonio.
Yeah, I'm sorry, my laptop dings so loud.
No, it's okay, because my phone's right here. What's the code? Okay, I gotta look for it now. I got it.
In the group discussion.
Yeah, well, he might have deleted his messages. As far as like why the skills are important for human beings, like what I thought about with transfer was, I took like my dog, for example, and I thought of like teaching him like how to play fetch, or teaching him how to sit or lay down or whatever, or like specifically roll. For me, like, what do you think about like the concept of like rolling? Hi, Antonio.
Hello.
Okay.
Hey, see ya.
All right, video camera works.
Perfect.
Awesome.
All right, sorry about that, guys.
That's all right. Thanks for joining.
No problem. No problem.
We just got started talking about like the terms integration, transfer, and conceptual blending. I was just starting to say that with transfer, I thought of how like when I taught my dog how to like roll, like the concept of rolling. When I learned it the first time, I guess, was like when we learned as kids, like stop, drop, and roll, like if there's a fire. So I knew what a roll looked like, but like to teach my dog that, it was like you have to learn how to sit first, and you have to learn to lay down, then he had to learn to like start to roll himself, and then learn that like putting all those steps together got him a treat. So just like seeing how like fast like I can think of how to roll, how to do it, and how fast that took me, and as far as like in relation to how far it took him to learn how to do a simple thing that like I don't think more than like a second on. So I guess it's important for us as human beings to be able to like think on our feet and have, quick reactions and be able to make connections that other species probably can't.
I agree with that.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
I think like integration, transfer, and conceptual blending, it's all kind of like transferring in a sense of like learning one thing and then like applying it to other things. So for example, I played hockey growing up, and you would learn like certain skating drills, and then those skating drills would like be applied to different skating drills to like for speed or balance, so forth, and different and then it's the same with like shooting drills and stuff like that, and then you put everything together, and like that's kind of how you like complete your game a little better.
Right. Even concepts like, I don't know, like balancing a checkbook and stuff. Like I learned that stuff in like high school as doing like fake accounts and like fake checks and writing fake checks and making like fake accounts for like an economics course. And then you think about now, like how often now, I don't pay my bills by a check. Like I just do everything online. But like how many people write a check now and can relate that back to learning like all the fake money and all the properties and stuff that you learned like in school.
Mm-hmm.
So I guess it's important.
I mean, one easy one that everyone could relate to is politics. I mean, there's obviously a clear divide between, both sides of the aisle in politics that, they got to integrate to come together to pass bills and to, make, new law and all these, the everything that requires, the majority's vote. It's just two separate ideas coming together to create one.
Right. And that brings up like an interesting point too, because it's like, how many times do those laws or bills or whatever go against like our own beliefs? So then, but we're forced, like, especially if they are laws, then we're forced to abide by them. So we have to transfer everything that we've, learned, know, like our beliefs on that situation, and now be okay and accept the new, laws and legislature stuff.
Right.
I always still think, like, when it says what do they do for our species as a whole, I think, like, pretty much everything we've learned, like I would like to think back to like math. Like, the first thing they created was probably numbers. Then they went and did like different things you can do with numbers, addition, subtraction, then you like keep moving on, and now we have like the most complicated math system ever. And it's just like something like languages, it starts with like just a few words, and then like this integration over time, like you start combining different things, you start forming phrases and sentences, and it's how things build up over time. Like you start, same thing with like a cell phone. The brick cell phones we used to have, and then they moved to slimmer cell phones and keyboard cell phones. Now we have literally just a touchscreen cell phone that's all like that. So I think it all just kind of builds up, and that's pretty much like our entire human existence is just integration.
Right. And if we didn't have the integration and being able to transfer things to, other parts, then we would still be in like the Stone Age where people were doing everything by like rock.
Yeah, exactly. All basic thinking with no change.
Right. So I know one of the readings that had to do with this, I think, was like what makes a good leader and how you could create a good leader out of, having two different ideas and bringing them together to make one, and to understanding both sides of an argument. And I do think that is important, because without people that understanding both sides of an argument, there would never be any improvement or any innovation or nothing would progress. There would be no progress.
Right. Absolutely. That doesn't make me think of, I think one of the readings talked about leadership and how some people are natural leaders and some aren't. What's everyone's thoughts on that?
I would think everybody has like leadership inside of them. It's just some people are more shy than others, whereas other people feel the need to like speak up and that's like kind of just like they've like probably led before, so it just comes easy to them. Whereas other people, I think everyone has the ability to lead. It's just a matter of speaking your mind and having like the confidence into what was the term last week that I was talking about, where it's like you don't have conceptual confidence or something, like in front of people, where it's like you doubt yourself when you're speaking in front of groups or something. I think
right.
Kind of why they can't speak or take lead sometimes.
Absolutely.
It's also, it's not like always correlated, but sometimes, if you have siblings and you're the oldest sibling, you've spent most of your childhood leading and taking care of your younger siblings, and it's just natural to take a position of power over people around you.
Right. That presents a really interesting point, because like I'm an only child, so growing up, I was always a shy kid. I was never like the first one, like when they, I don't know, pick teams, or like when someone, be like, oh, who has a question? I would never raise my hand, never be first. But then growing up, and like now I have my dog, I have horses or whatever, responsibilities. Those responsibilities made me become more of a leader, so I just know I have to take care of something, so I can't just, wait around for it to tell me like, oh, like I'm hungry or I'm thirsty. Like little things like that added up, and now like I find myself being a lot more confident and being able to take charge of like different situations. So
like this group meeting, for example.
Yeah, well, I didn't really like agreeably take charge of it. Our lovely professor just put that on me. Yeah, anyone that wants to take it over, just let me know.
Sounds like you did.
I don't mind it. It's not too bad. I'm just hoping I can figure out the recording this time, because last time it like completely went missing, and it said it saved, and I looked all like in every single document, my entire computer. I was like, I can't find this, so I'm gonna hope it goes better after that. But
And like leadership qualities from your parents too. If you see like your dad or your mom, like whatever your family situation is, like, you know, being like leader of the house, you can kind of see that through yourself sometimes, and see how they act in different types of like crowds and situations, and you can transfer those like qualities to yourself.
yeah, absolutely. And I also think that like brings up how people look at how they grow up and look at situations, like based on like if your dad or your mom or whoever raised you was the leader in your family, if that changes your outlook on like, you know, say like a predominantly male dominated family or like female dominated family. And that, I think that has a lot to do with like your beliefs and everything when you grow up as well.
Like if your mom, obviously, you know, like if your mom works full-time job, and, you know, for say she makes enough money that your dad doesn't have to work, you know, that might give you the type of like outlook on life, saying like, you know, it's okay for that to be the type of thing. But, you know, like I think the stereotype for like, you know, like the 1930s to the 1970s really was like the father is supposed to make the money and the mom's supposed to stay home. And like today, I mean, it could be either way. It doesn't matter.
Right.
You know,
Sometimes in some families, everyone stays home.
yeah, yeah, if you're that lucky.
Yeah, right. Sorry for getting off topic. So I know we talked about like what they do for our species as a whole. Another one was I'm trying to freaking see, but our thing's in the way. Why would developing them make one a good student, good employee, or business owner? I think we kind of like touched on that as well, but if anyone has anything to add to that.
Just about being able to combine ideas and take like the best of both and find like a solution in the middle that solves everybody's problems. I mean, that to me would speak like a good business owner.
Right.
It's like just how they come up with things, integrative ideas.
Well, business owner, you know, just like a leader, is going to have people underneath them that have different views. And I mean, if they can understand everyone's views, I think that definitely helps.
Keep everybody happy.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. The way I thought of it was like, how many leaders do you see? Well, I shouldn't say that. I was going to say, how many leaders do you see that can be like very single-minded and aren't open to any sort of change and everything? But then I was like, there's leaders like that. But as far as like making a good leader, you really shouldn't be so single-minded and be able to apply, you know, all the different concepts you've learned and all the different beliefs and all the different all the different like diverse people you should be able to be accepting of, and that all has to come from like the different parts of transfer and conceptual blending that you've been through in your life.
Yeah, thinking from other people's perspectives is definitely important.
For sure.
An even good employee, you know, taking the ideas that are brought up to you, and even if you don't want to use that idea, at least like giving it a chance and seeing it through, and like knowing at the end of your decision if it's going to help you or not, instead of just like shutting an idea down.
Yeah, and like sometimes, I mean, we've all probably worked a job where your boss tells you to do something and you're like, this makes no sense why I'm doing this right now. But like in the long haul, you probably start to realize that actually does need to be done and you need to do it. And like just being able to accept that right away rather than just like bitching about it is probably a better way of going about it and being a good employee.
Right. Yeah, I can say I've definitely been in that sort of situation like almost every day.
Yeah. Shout out our bosses.
Yeah. I serve at one restaurant where like the cooks are like, are you a manager yet? Are you a manager yet? And I was like, no, and I don't want to be. Because the manager is like, she'll put out these rules like, this is a restaurant. Like, this is not like you're not the CEO of the world. Yeah. But you have like request off forms you have to fill out now where like you can't just like get coverage. Like you can't just, I don't know, ask someone to cover you on this certain day. Like you have to fill out an actual form, write down your reasoning for why you need off. But the manager just takes off whenever she wants. Doesn't tell anyone, doesn't find coverage. So it's a pretty big restaurant. Like we have 5 servers work every shift. I came in on one shift and there was literally 3 servers. And one of them like had the flu and was told by the manager who wasn't there, was told that she had to come into work unless she could find a cover. So that's not an example of like a good leader by any means, who can't even transfer the rules and everything she's setting forth for everyone else.
Mm-hmm.
I agree.
Yeah, I served and cooked in restaurants for like 3 or 4 years, and I was then, but at like 20 something, 21, they made me a manager, and I hated it, and I went back to serving.
Okay.
I was a manager for like a month and a half. I hated it.
They try to coach me.
Yeah.
They're like, "Oh, you'll make so much money per hour, and like you can still serve and pick up." And I was like, "I don't want to be responsible for anything. Like right now, I come in, I make, I leave. Like this is not covered."
Yeah, I understand that.
A restaurant seems like probably the number 1 most stressful job in the world. Well,
I don't know. I loved it. I miss it.
But I don't know. I feel like they have so many other.
Yeah.
I worked at Dave and Buster's. I know it's kind of funny, but they have so much other crap going on that they need to like focus on. I'm just like, that. This sounds horrible to me. Like,
yeah.
I can't do that. But
that's all I love. Like I've served for so many years. I love it, and it's excellent money. Anyone that served can probably say that. But it's funny because when you have, I don't know, for example, like I want to go into like pharmaceutical sales. If the only thing on my resume was working at this restaurant, they would laugh at me.
Yeah.
So, but I would have a lot of, like, I would have decent money. I'd be making a decent income, but that's not deemed like any professional anymore.
Right.
And they would rather see like a stupid like manager, like a manager position or whatever at, God knows what instead. But that's just funny.
I love serving.
Yeah, I don't mind at all. It's nice.
Easy money. All right. Well, is that everything?
I think that's everything. Does anyone have anything else they want to discuss?
Just what time we're gonna meet next week. Other than that, I think we're good.
Is it next week the next one that's due? I haven't looked that much forward. I'll look.
I think it's next week.
That's module 3.
I would assume there's another meeting.
Yeah. Yeah. What works for everyone next week?
I would like to
keep it. You want to keep it on the weekends, or you want to do a weeknight, weekday, whatever?
I'm okay with this. Well, I mean, if that works for everybody, keep it the same.
It does. It does. My pap just got home late from an appointment today. That's why dinner got pushed back. But I'll be fine.
That's okay. That's okay.
Sundays would be best for me.
Sundays or Mondays?
Sundays. Well, we can only do Thursday through Sunday, I think, because the reading comes out on Thursday.
Okay.
But if that's for everybody else.
That's fine with me. You guys want to shoot for next Sunday night or day, whatever? I'm easy peasy, so whatever's good with everyone else.
We can always plan for Sunday, and then one of us just send a text in the group message and say, "Hey, what time's best for everyone today on Sunday morning?"
Yeah, well, I think we should try to like set a time now, and then like if something comes up like earlier in the day, and like say early in the day you're not gonna be around at the time, we'll figure it out then, I guess. Is 6 still like a decent time?
Yeah, it works for me.
6 is fine.
Okay, let's shoot for that, and then like say something comes up or any like I don't know, shit happens. I understand. If anything comes up like an hour, whatever, a couple hours before, just text the group text or the group chat or whatever, and just let us know. We'll figure it out. Even if like we had to do like the idea I present, like even if like other of us have to meet and then like you have to watch the group meeting or whatever online, it's fine. I'm sure our professor will understand. All right.
Yeah, that works for me.
Perfect.
All right. I will see you all next Sunday, and then I guess I'll get the I'll set up the meeting now, and then I'll send you the group ID in the text messages.
Awesome.
Okay, perfect.
All right. Thank you. Have a good night, everyone.
You too.
Oh gosh, how do I stop this thing now?